Today is the 19th of May 2020. This is Mr. Abundance. Welcome to the global community of Tiashans. It's always a pleasure to address the global community. This morning, I started out my audio by saying, look for opportunities and not obstacles. Too many times we look for obstacles when an opportunity is being presented instead of looking for the opportunities that are in the obstacles. Because if there are no obstacles, there are no opportunities. So it's always two mindsets at work. And that is why I never fail to develop the mind, because you are the sum total of what you're producing. A lot of us sometimes wonder in life, why have I not um, gotten a better result? I am on the job for so long. Why am I not being promoted? Why my businesses, or business are not the way it is? But I think it was Earl Nightingale that says that the monies that you will receive will always be in direct ratio for the demand for what you do, your ability to do it well, and the difficulty in replacing you. And so this morning I was talking about the go-getter mindset. I mean, that mindset that says that I am more than what I am. The mindset that says I am more than what and who I am. And these are the people that take responsibility for the circumstances. They know that when they choose the behavior, they choose the circumstances. Hence, they create their own circumstances by choosing actions that support their goals. These are the pace setters, the wealthy mindset. They have an attitude. If it is to be, it is up to me. But of course, on the other side, you have the general public that they do not take responsibility for anything. And when things does not go, the way that they planned it, they justify their situation by blaming others, governments, employer, their teachers, their parents, parents blaming children and children blaming parents. But you have those, the pace setters, those that I call Abrahams, that will look at the season. They have the discernment to feel where the wind is blowing. You don't have to say anything to them, and they will fully understood what is taking place. On the other hand, you could speak 1,000 words, and the majority will not even understand what you're saying, because they are not visionaries. They are not pace setters. They're looking for a safe path. They are looking for confirmation. Somebody has to go and clear down the bushes so that they can see. And not only clear the bushes, they have to take the stones out of the road. And if that is not enough, you have to call in a roller to roll it so they can see that it is more safer for them to walk. And not only to roll, you have to put the asphalt. These are people that will always pass over opportunities all the time. They're looking for somebody to go forward and says, yes, I am making it. Yes, this is what I have. I call them the Thomases. They have to see and they have to touch. Now you have the pay setter mindset. Those with a wealthy mindset, they make it happen. They know that success must be summoned. It won't come unbidden. They have plans. They can tell you where they are going and how they are going to get there. On the other hand, you have the wandering generalities. These are people that just let it happen. Many have no definite plans for the future, or they just simply don't execute their plans. Hence, these are people that will always fit into someone else's plan because they don't have one of their own. You're talking about the same head now, the same brains, but decisions are what create different results. Decisions. Make decisions and be firm. And so today, I just want to bring to the community of Tiashans why TACC is important, the existence of TACC, why we cannot go to our beds, especially those of us in the West. I told you Sunday, I only knew about malaria when I went to Africa. UNICEF report at least 1 million people every year died from malaria. And 90% of the deaths, guess where it occurred? In Africa. Now, you would have thought that the WHO would have called for a shutdown of the world for such an outrage of deaths, but they don't care because it is who is dying. They shut down the world for a fake virus. A fake virus. The elites, and that is why I said the politicians, they will not do it for us. Some of you are looking forward for normalcy post COVID-19. It will not happen. If your situation pre-COVID did not bring you your result, don't expect to see it after COVID, because COVID-19 has already wiped out a lot of small businesses. The businesses that you thought that you're going to go back to, it will be no more. COVID-19 shed over 30 million jobs in 1 week. I am saying to the Tiashans in the house, none of us needs to fall victim of COVID-19. We have an escape route in TACC. Cryptocurrency has given us an awesome alternative to the current corrupt system that only breeds poverty, scarcity, and diseases. We have an alternative to what we were introduced to what we were conditioned to believe, that this is the road to financial freedom. It is a lie. And so these are numbers that kept Mr. Abundance up at night. in today's world, the 21st century, we still have 90%, based on my math. I did not do any calculation, but 90% of a million, that is 800, that is 800,000. No, you said 90%. No, that is 900,000. Excuse me, because it says 90%. So that is 900,000 we're talking about. Africans that are dying every year for malaria that is treatable, preventable, and curable. We don't know what malaria looked like in the West. The United States got rid of malaria since 1951. 1951. And we're still talking about how can we not do what we have to do. And what you have to do, expand the vision of TACC. Invite our brothers and sisters across the globe, conscious men and women, black, yellow, purple, blue, and white. Because we are all human and we are all equal, even though some might want to put some of us in B and C and D class. We are all one. And so I'm calling upon the conscious brothers and sisters around the globe, those that love humanity, those that understand pain and suffering of others. Let us pool our resources together with TACC. Cryptocurrency has given us an awesome opportunity to do so many things at once. Pooling our resources between 5 and 200,000. You can now invest in this initiative. And while you're investing, you're saving lives in Africa and around the world. Because once we clean up Africa, we clean up the entire world. And so once you are donating, no, you're not donating actually, you're investing. And your investment, you are receiving coins. A coin that will become the world premier coin. A coin that value will move from $1 to $20 to $100. You will receive coins that will move from 100 to 5 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 50,000 to 100,000. I think it was yesterday I said TACC will go even up to 1 million. You know why? The programs that we have in TACC, they are not programs to fight anyone. I am saying that African Union will adopt TACC as their foreign digital asset. They have to. I look forward for that day when Tiashans around the globe stand up in awe and wonder as the African Union endorse TACC. I look forward for that day. How many TACC will you have at that time? We're talking about changing lives. We're talking about settling the debts of Africa to China and to the world. We're talking about infrastructure development, schools and hospitals and clinics. And I think I put some of them below there already. This is the reason for TACC. We have to bring to an end artificial scarcity. It is a lie. Every 30 seconds, a child dies. And not even a street is closed in Africa. Not even in the news. And a few thousand dead from corona. A matter of fact, they said that the common cold is even more dangerous than the coronavirus. and that debt that you will hear them talk about, over 300,000 people die. You can divide that by 5. You can divide it by 5 to get the right answer. If you sneeze and you die, is corona. If you cough and you die, is corona. If you thump your toe and die, is corona. If you go out and fell down, is corona. Listen, it's the biggest hoax. But you know what they wanted? To get rid of us, especially people of color. The AIDS virus didn't do it. The Ebola virus didn't do it. The foods that they're giving us didn't do it. The pharmaceutical drugs didn't do it. And so they expect the coronavirus to actually do it for them. And that is why Madagascar, the cure that Madagascar came up with, they don't want to accept it. A matter of fact, it was alleged that the government were bribed not to say anything. Now, you have another real crisis that we need to address. Food and Agriculture, where the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, stated over 226.7 million people are starving. I am saying to the House of Tiashans, the politicians are not capable, or may I say they are not willing, not that they're unable, but they're not willing, because it's not in the interests of big businesses to get a cure for Africa. It's not in the Africa's poverty. The people of Africa, their poverty is $1 trillion business for the West. But we are on a mission to become the alternate solution to settle Africa's debt to China and to the world, may I add. It's not here, but to the world as well. And to create a global global financial stability for all peoples who have handed generational lack, scarcity, poverty, and man-made diseases by design. I said everything you can think about is in TACC. And how are we going to do it? In unity. TACC now is in its TACC now it's in its first round of sale, and it's now at 25 cents, which will end June 13th. And so now you can get your TACC now that the price is at its lowest. And I will share my screen so that I can show you exactly. We have 25 days and 17 hours, 40 minutes left for the first round. If you notice, if you go down to the roadmap, here it says the roadmap. You click on the roadmap and it tells you when we began, what is taking place. And it says here the first round pre-sale for 3 months at the rate of 0.25 per coin. That ending June 13th. June 14th is the second round of pre-sale for 3 months at the rate of 0.50. This is where the coin now becomes 50 cents. And so this is the best time to get the coin, when you can have 4 coins for $1. You can get 4 coins for $1. This morning, I think it was yesterday, I looked at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin was at 9,500. Now, 2 coins, 2 Bitcoin will give you what, 18, 19,000. But if you have 4, that is 38. And I kept saying that if you and I had bought $15 worth of Bitcoin back in 2009, March to be exact, we'll be able to cash out over $40 million today. A lot of us can't buy 1 Bitcoin, much less 100 Bitcoin. You have an opportunity now to do it. Don't be foolish. Do not look for obstacles, but look for the opportunity in the obstacles. This is not about how smart you are. This is not how intelligent you are. It's all about common sense. That's what it is. Now that the coin is at 25 cents, it is only common sense. There's no technical sense involved here. But what I see, that there will be a level of poverty that this world has never seen after the doors of cryptocurrency would have closed. And people that you knew that couldn't even count on their fingers, these are the people that will hire you and your children so that you will work for them. But that is how we are conditioned. Go to school and get a degree and come and work for the dunce that don't even have a high school diploma. People like Eric Finman, who are now advising PhD students, drop out at the age of 15. Why? Because he made a common sense decision. Common sense decision. Our mission is more than just a few coins to be awarded or appreciated in the future. Our mission is bigger than just a coin. And so we have also, let me touch on the structure while I'm here, a team of motivational professional. You have our bishop there from Nigeria. He's now assuming our regional director role, executive director for West Africa. He's a chief financial officer, and he is a bishop. We have our global ambassador, our global youth ambassador there out of Nigeria. We have Meto Kenston Gangpangwi, and he is our executive national coordinator out of Cameroon, financial analyst by profession. We have Madam Ntimbang Yura Bururo, Kilimba Maria Clara Helena. I don't know who give you all those names, my sister, but bless you, our ambassador there. Mr. Taylor, our executive director, national executive coordinator over there in the Bahamas, and also our director of marketing and business development in TACC, Madam Joan Ochu, director of human resources, and also she just assumed the role of the national executive coordinator for Nigeria, barrister at law, Madam Judith, our legal advisor here. We have Dr. David Newton. He's the director of health and corporate planning. Very dynamic young man. He's in the United States. We have Miss TJ Brooks, who is our European ambassador, and I know that she's on fire. She understands tax mission, tax vision. And I appreciate her over there in Europe. Dr. Isaac Newton, our corporate director of strategic planning and corporate investment, director of training and implementation, Ariel Greatness, also responsible for mobilization and youth affairs. And we have our Jewel Leandra Hammond, corporate director of social services, philanthropy, and women affairs. And apart from our directors, we have our advisors here, Professor Goodwin Isong out of Nigeria, and we also have Mr. Aloysius Goodman, who is our technical advisor. He hails from the Virgin Islands. Now, we also have, and this is not the list here. This is not the up-to-date list, but I will just click on here. If you notice, we also have a cadre. Some of the names that you have mentioned, they're also leading their country. So you will find them here. And so if you want to know who's responsible for your country, you know, the directors and assistant, you will find them here as well. All right. So TACC has a structure that is unique. And of course, I will update that list in the coming week. And so we have 25 days left where the coins will be at 25 cents. And it will not go back to this price again. So make sure that you bring the people in. I showed you the other day how much we will need, how many coins each Tiashan will need to expand and to meet our soft cap. If we are supposed to meet it in this month with the minimum, I'm talking about minimum, I think I would want to go back to that so that I could just revise that again. I didn't plan to do it. I wonder now where I have that document. Never mind. All right, so let me continue. Let me continue. All right. And so we have tax on the vision, looking ahead. All right. I just put a few things here that we can look forward to in the future. The Abundance Resort and Spa, the Abundance state-of-the-art medical in universities and hospitals, especially this, we have to get this done in all 5 regions of Africa. If there's one thing that TACC must do, is to put healthcare systems, sustainable healthcare systems in Africa. Why should we go? Why should you come to the West? Why should you come to the West? The Abundance Travel Agency, chains and buses and airlines. As I told you the other day, I didn't realize that it was only 5.5 hours from Antigua, from the Caribbean to Lagos, Nigeria. Can you imagine? 5.5 hours. That is why our social program, the Afro-Caribbean International Musical Culture and Trade Festival, is very important. That we open up the Caribbean to Africa. Direct trading. Listen, we can take all the food that you produce in Africa, in the Caribbean, potatoes, yams, spices, pumpkins, edos, banana, plantain, soursop, apples, spinach, avocado, cherry, grapes, grain, sugar. I said we import 98% of what we consume, and you have it: oranges, limes, lemons. You have it in Africa. We have to do it. It's time for us to support our existence. It's time for us to support our existence. Except we fix Africa, we will always remain the global slaves in the world. Except we fix Africa, we will never get any respect in the West. The Cup of Nations and all these are social programs to not only introduce TACC to governments, but also to institutional investors. Sports and religion, it's $1 trillion business. And so we're introducing TACC to sports investors as well. Can you imagine our Cup of Nations kicking off with all the countries in Africa represented? I'm talking about football and the Caribbean. 1 week of showdown, elimination, competition, beaming around the world, millions of dollars for royalty. The rights we will have, TACC radio and television. That is why media is very important. So look ahead. The Rollback Malaria Program, the Abundance Fast Food Restaurants, the Abundance Leadership Academy, producing leaders who will make a difference and add value to people. The Abundance brand name perfume, shoes, bag. If they can do it, why can't we? We are not lesser than anyone. The Abundance telephone, television, radio, mobile, internet. And I know if anyhow, my good brother. So I go down, I didn't put question and answer, but we're into the question and answer area. Good day, Mr. Abundance. I'm looking forward to your presentation tonight. Okay, I think he was there earlier. Thank you. From Philippa in the UK. You're welcome, Philippa. Good evening to the house and to all the new members. May I say congratulations to everyone who worked hard and believing in yourself. I am and you will achieve great success and your goals. Thank you very much, our ambassador, TJ. Good evening, sir. Good Joshua. Good day, Mr. Abundant. The fire is everywhere. I love what I am hearing. Is not Lesotho, it's Lesotho. Lesotho. May I say to you that Lesotho is on fire. It's one thing I can tell you, they're on fire. And so we want to welcome them to TACC and also our National Executive Coordinator from Zimbabwe that came on last week as well, and from our executive coordinators from Namibia. So we have Lesotho and Namibia and Zimbabwe joined the ranks of TACC last week. Our ambassador here, Gabriel, yes, greetings. Good day, Mr. Abundance. I love what I'm hearing. I think, okay, he corrected himself now. Lesotho. The fire is everywhere. Please, let's work seriously on our television and radio project at aid. That is correct. We should, by the end of this month, we should be doing some testing. And of course, as we about to go live. Lesika out of South Africa. Good evening, Mr. Abundance and the entire leaders. Yes, good evening. Mr. Stephen over there in Ghana. Good evening, Mr. Abundance, my boss. Thank you for the love that you have for TACC community. You're welcome, sir. Good evening, Mr. Abundance and all Tiashans. We are happy that we in Lesotho have joined the struggle. Together we will win. Thank you very much, my leader. And this is Nsingbing Tang, who is our Assistant National Executive Coordinator. Please begin to look about Mr. Abundance visa. I'm not too sure if I need a visa to come to your country, but it's one country I said that I will be going. By the way, going to your country, I will be close to South Africa, so I don't have an excuse not to go to South Africa. All right, so I'm now giving you a responsibility to look to see what is required for Mr. Abundance to enter your country. It is true that this mission is bigger than any country. The only thing that gear me up and keep me up at night, Johnny the Bank, this mission is bigger than any person. It is bigger than any community. It is bigger than any country, any continent. I am saying to the house, some of us, I don't think most of us in TACC understand the mission that we're on. They're here with us. They're on the train. They're in for the ride. But I'm not too sure if they have really caught the vision that it's not about them. I don't think they realize, because when it is about you, then the vision and the view is very narrow. And you only achieve that little. But when you take it off of you and put it in the big picture, servant leadership, as Madam Joan Achu yesterday says, TACC is not a career, it's a calling. For me, it's not a career. For many people in TACC, TACC is not a career, but TACC will be a career for a lot of you. TACC will put you in front of deputies and senators and parliamentarians, prime ministers and presidents. Yes, TACC will do it. It will be a career of which you can influence. But when you have a calling, it influences you. Good day, Mr. Abundance and the entire house of Theatrians. We appreciate your unabated zeal about this sacred and solemn mission. We are fortunate to have you. I am fortunate to have leaders such as you who caught the vision very early. No, I am the one that is honored to be given this humble task. And I take this task with the highest of humility. I take this task because I understand the weight of this mission. I understand fully the gravity of what we have in front of us. Billions will be affected as a result of you. As a result of each one of you in the Theatrians community, you are setting a change, a fundamental change that will affect billions, present and to come. I always says that PhD students will use this model for their dissertation. Historians will go over the pages from books written from the Guinness Book of Record, and they will dig and they will try to find out, how did they do it? How did a conditioned people, a deprived people, a people that has been given diseases, lack, and artificial scarcity, how were they able to have pulled off the biggest paradigm shift that this globe would have witnessed and will ever witness? How did they do it? PhD students will ask the question. Historians will ask the questions as they roll over the pages. How did they do it? A people from across continents that have never met, how did they do it? How were they able to come on one platform? A divided people that do not know who they are and what they want. A divided people that Dr. Lee says that anytime they even come together, They cannot do anything of any significance because they are a divided people. But how did these people did it? That is going to be the question for PhDs to come, present and to come. How did we do it in TACC? One thing they will find out, that we bury selfishness, we bury greed, and we also buried ignorance. And we told ourselves, if others can do it, so can we. If the Jews can work among themselves in the community and create billionaires, and we are more than they, why can't we do the same thing? And so we have the formula. They don't like it. They don't like it. But we have the formula. And the formula is a vision of the future, a unity of purpose with integrity, accountability, and the understanding that we need to pool our resources to make it happen. And so I am giving them, so they don't have to, when they are diving in the history books. So I am helping them. This is how we were able to do it. And by the way, they will also note that there were a lot that were with us. They were only here to see the failure because they could not see it happen, because it is a ship and a structure that this world has never seen. And so they stood on the fence, having their rum in one hand and the glass in the other, to celebrate our failure. The record will show that they came among us like they did with Martin Luther King Jr., like they did with Marcus Garvey, like they did with all the Pan-Africanists. They are with us today. The house niggers that do not believe in themselves. And by the way, they were sent. They were sent because all what they need is a few dollars. We are still up for sale. We are still up for sale, even to keep us down and their children. Because we do things because we do not think too deep. We stay on the surface. We don't go below the surface. And so we settle for the crumbs when we have the whole bread on the table. Shisha, yes. Good evening, Mr. Abundance, the House of Namibians Online. We have heard we are on a big mission. God bless Mr. Abundance, and may he bless you twice. Trisha, she is our leader over there in Namibia. Yes. You know, Mr. Abundance, I don't know how am I going to split. And, I said on Sunday, that is the reason I start to bid my colleagues goodbye. I start to bid Mr. Taylor in the Bahamas goodbye. I start to bid Anthony Moore down there in Trinidad goodbye. Mr. Goodman, Mr. Goodman should be coming with me to Nigeria because he is our technician. So I can't bid him goodbye. But I can also bid him goodbye because he will be going back and forward. And so, and Prince over there in Europe, I think I can also bid you goodbye. Africa is where Mr. Abundance will be. There's too much work in Africa for me to get out of Africa right now. This mission is too deep. It is too wide. It needs to be it needs to be taken care of. We have to see the changes that we desire. They say talk of the devil. Prosperous Prince. Good evening, all united we stand, divided we fall. Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, Mr. Abundance. Good evening. All right, and so I just want to thank everyone who have showed up today. Selena, good evening, sir, and the house, as whole house at large. Thank you very much. Mamantodi Jia Masala. I think she is our executive coordinator over there in Lesotho. And so we want to appreciate you. You have a lot of work to do. Good evening, Mr. Abundance and the house at large. I feel blessed to be a part of this great community, aiming to change the lives of our people. There is nothing that we cannot do in unity. The scripture spoke about the Tower of Babel. Unity is a principle. And once it is a principle, it has to happen. Even though it was unity of ignorance and mistrust, if they weren't confounded, they would have built a tower to reach heaven. That is what unity is all about. And that is why I know we are in one accord. And the chain is as strong as its weakest link. Mr. Abundance is not the subject. The subject is TACC. The subject is TACC. It's not about Mr. Abundance. It's about our mission and our vision. And some of us are too caught up with position. We are too caught up with what we can make and what we can earn, that you're missing the bigger picture. At the end of the day, ask your question, what have I done to affect and to influence people's life for the better? What have I done? What time have I taken out? Whose life have I changed? What difference because of me that was wrought about? What will be the difference when your name called to give an account of your stewardship in this life? What will you say? You came as a thief and you scam everyone that you could? Will that be your answer? Always inspiring to listen to your wisdom. I want to thank all of you. I appreciate you, my dear. This is the last one from our National Executive Coordinator over there in France. No other coin in the world speak TACC language. TACC social program has no similar world, no similarity worldwide. We are truly our problems and our solution. Who else can address Africa's issue like this? None. TACC is a global coin. TACC is a global community. TACC transcends race, color, creed, borders. TACC will set the global standard for the world. I said, what we are doing, the changes that we're making in TACC will revolutionize the way how Africa do things, the way how the Caribbean do things. We are in front of technology. cryptocurrency will do it for us. But we have to be united and share the vision, share the mission, get the people in. And so I may be back tomorrow with another episode. I want to thank you. Rachel is saying, good evening, Mr. Abundance, of the Moses of our time and all the TACCs. We are marching on to our promised land. May I say to all of us, let us not fall victim like 80% of the children of Israel who would have crossed the Red Sea on their way to the promised land. Because they were wandering generalities, they really wandered in the wilderness for 40 years, which should have been for 40 days. We don't have that luxury. Too many lives are at stake. Too many suffering are at stake. Look at your income. Are you happy? Look at the house and the car that you're driving. Are you happy? Look at your children's potential and what you can afford to give them now. Are you happy? Look at your community. Are you happy? Look at your infrastructure in your community, in your city, in your country. Are you happy? Look at your health care facilities in your country. Are you happy? Look at your educational facilities and programs in your country. Are you happy? Well, if you're not happy, do something about it. And the doing is all of us to unite. It will not happen by you looking and waiting for somebody else to do it. It's called for unity of action. The platform that you have is a sacred one, but it will not force anyone to come. That is the good thing about TACC. You can look and you can watch it. You don't have to do anything, but be prepared to reap the result of ignorance. Not only you, but your children to come. That is all I can say to you. Noah and the ark did not care who entered or who took them seriously. Noah did not send to beg anyone and for anyone to believe in him either. You don't have to believe. You can scoff. You can laugh. You can celebrate. You can plot. Whatever you do, may I say to you, as the scripture says, because it is principle, whatever a man soweth, he must reap. I said, whatever you sow, you must reap. And so the ark, which was a blessing to the world, became a death trap to the same world. TACC is no different. I'm saying to you on the inspiration, TACC is no different. It's a rescue ship for the world and is also a death trap to the world. Choose which side will you be. That's all. I am not here to convince anyone to join TACC. I am giving you the information. I am not here to coerce anyone either. That's not my job. It's not my job to spoon feed you, because it's nothing in the, I am not looking anything. It's not about Mr. Abundant. I told you already when I went to the programmers, I told them, listen, this coin is not about me. If I have to buy my coins, tell me now so I can buy my coins as the creator of it. It's not about me. Once the coin does the mission that it was ordained to do, that is what gives me satisfaction. That is what gives me satisfaction. This morning, as I was taking my exercise, a former employee co-worker. She was there. She was laughing. We worked for many years. And I was telling the National Executive Coordinator for Antigua, these are people that I worked with. They taught me at first, but I came and I managed them after. And I also gave them opportunities so that they can excel into management. She's now a manager in the former hotel where I was once a manager. That's what Mr. Abundant does. I open up doors for people. I never close a door. I always open a door and I leave it open for you to walk through. You have some of us, when we go the ladder, we kick the ladder down. Not Mr. Abundance. It's not in my DNA. That's why I excel. Because when I do things, it's not about Mr. Abundance. How can I lift everybody up? What can I do today to impact you? What difference can I make? Knowing that what a difference a day makes when kindness touches it. What difference are you making? Are you looking for obstacles? What are you looking for in TACC? Because if you're looking for grandizement and glorification and people to say amen and to, no, it's not here. It's not about any person. This is bigger than any person. So if you're coming, you might have to strip some of the feathers that you may have gathered somewhere else, because this is not about fanfare. This is serious business. And so, thank you, Helena. We greet you, and we greet the entire community of Tiashen. And so, this is where we bring it to an end. Enjoy your day. Go and do what you have to do. Make disciples of other men. This is Mr. Abundance. Good evening.